Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand, honor the flag on the stage as our village singers sing the national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your caps.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Gentlemen, replace your caps. Graduates, please be seated. Good evening and welcome to the Stevenson High School class of 2023 commencement, our 58th graduating class. The commencement ceremony is perhaps the grandest event of the school year. This ceremony is more than just a symbol of completing 13 years of schooling. It's an important rite of passage for students as well as their family and friends. Knowing this significance, the scale and public view, it's an honor to assemble everyone here tonight. Graduation is an exciting time. It's both an ending and a beginning. It's filled with warm memories of the past and big dreams for the future. As we look out to the faces of this graduating class, many of us are remembering those when we were in those same seats. Tonight is not the end goal. It's part of a larger journey. Wherever your future takes you, let it take you somewhere. Today serves as a launching point of wherever your future is meant to take you. We do not stop growing when we receive our diplomas. Any and all accomplishments should be starting points for further achievements. You have demonstrated that if you commit to doing something, you are capable of achieving it. With this being said, it's with open arms that we welcome another class to the ranks of Stevenson alumni. Each of you have had your own unique experiences. There was probably a combination of good times, bad times, times of laughter and joy, school spirit, and of course, that always last-minute studying. As we reflect back on some of these experiences, beginning with the sunrise or the homecoming pep assembly, or more recently with prom or last night with the sunset, and many more in between, we saw a genuine appreciation and excitement to participate in these opportunities. This was definitely a spirited class. This year we saw increased participation in clubs and activities. Our athletic teams earned impressive accomplishments. Our musicians and singers continued demonstration of earning ones with their performances. But perhaps most importantly, the class of 2023 was instrumental in being leaders in our school and community. Whether as individuals or groups, this class contributed to our successes. We talked a great deal about culture and climate, engagement and ownership, and taking responsibility. While we may have disagreed about cell phones and earbuds, our seniors were honorable in their commitment in carrying out the vision of our leadership. You were vested in recapturing the experience of what can and should be a wonderful high school experience. To say the least, this was truly a special class that has left its mark on Stevenson. And tonight, we will honor 397 seniors who are graduating today. A round of applause. At this point in time, I'd like to introduce some of our invited guests here on stage. When I call your name, please stand, remain standing. Audience, I ask that you hold your applause till the whole group has been recognized. From our school board, Trustee Liz Jarvis. Trustee Crystal Frank. Trustee Colleen Burton. Trustee Madeline Acosta. Secretary Tammy Bonifield. Vice President Karen Bradford. President Mark Johnson. I'm not done yet. From our district and community leadership, representing the Livonia Education's Foundation Competitive Edge Savings Program that provides graduating seniors who enrolled in LPS in kindergarten a college or post-secondary education saving plan, Diane Laura. Chief Financial Officer Allison Smith. Chief Academic Officer Teresa O'Brien. Director of Elementary Program and District Services William Green. Director of Secondary Programs and District Services Kevin Etu. Director of Human Resources Anthony Abate. Superintendent Andrea Oquist. And our guest speaker from the class of 1981, Steve Kiefer. A round of applause, please. Everybody seated? Yep. Everybody seated? At this point in time, I'd also like any Stevenson staff member, whether you're part of the ceremony or with family in the stands, to please stand. Staff members, please. Thank you. Even though we are in an athletic arena, please understand this is an academic ceremony, which calls for dignity and respect. Each of our graduates have earned the right to hear their names called. I ask that we be respectful of all graduates. We hold our applause to the end and remain seated. The appropriate time to recognize everybody is at the end. Additionally, this is being live streamed and any outbursts may distort from our viewers, so I thank you in advance for our cooperation. At this point in time, it's my pleasure to introduce graduate Aveline O'Hagan, who will deliver the senior commencement speech.
Over a century ago, the poet Rudyard Kipling published the poem If. After 113 years, the poem is still an inspiration to many. Today, let me share with you a modern translation of this classic poem. If you can see everyone around you is just as unstable as you are, yet still be composed. If you know who you truly are, despite what others believe, but can understand why they believe that. If you are able to wait for a response from your dream school, and then continue to wait after you've been deferred. If you can withstand the gossip behind your back and not spread gossip yourself. If you can understand why some people do not like you, but still make an effort to be kind to all. With that in mind, do not present yourself in a way that is fake, and do not be a smart aleck in your words or actions. If you can envision the goals you have set for your future and not be consumed in the efforts to achieve them. If you can reflect back on what you've done and devise plans for the future without becoming lazy or aimless. If you can turn around and look your successes as well as your failures straight in the eye and understand that both are equally as important. If you can listen to your words be distorted by those to whom you hold close to your heart, all for their own benefit, or for no apparent reason at all. If you are able to look back on the time you spent wasting away to get into the perfect college, find the perfect partner, doing the things you were told mattered, living the perfect and fun life before the age of 18, just to please another. If you spend countless hours and numerous paychecks trying to mend the hole in your life with somebody else's words. If you can stake every one of your previous successes on one idea, on a chance, and walk away losing everything. If you can go back to when life was difficult, when everything seemed dark, and neither shout your struggles from the rooftop or grumble in a whisper no one can hear. If who you are in this world continues to impact many long after you've rotted away, and everyone can look back and know the entire time your heart was saying, just keep beating. If you can hold a conversation with the misfits around you and not be influenced, or fit in with the popular crowd and still be humble. If the words and the actions of your worst enemy have no effect, and neither of those of your best friend. If you leave an impression on every person you meet, yet none become obsessed. If the hour or minute that is so easily spent scrolling is instead spent with a friend or doing the things you truly love doing, then yours is the world and everything in it. And what's even greater, my friend, you're an adult. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the senior class president, Drew Buwadi.
Good evening. My name is Drew Buwadi, and I am very proud to be representing the class of 2023 tonight. As your senior class president, it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker at this year's commencement ceremony, Mr. Stephen Kiefer. Mr. Kiefer is a very proud 1981 graduate of Stevenson High School. He went on to study at Michigan State for engineering and at the University of Michigan for business. After graduating, he went on to work in the auto industry for nearly 40 years, working in Delphi and then Ford Motor Company. In September 2016, tragedy struck very close to home. Stephen's son, Mitchell Kiefer, was driving to Michigan State and was hit from behind and killed by a distracted driver. After that terrible loss, Mr. Kiefer decided to dedicate his life to educating people on the dangers of distracted driving and working to prevent future tragedies, for it only takes a split second for a life-altering event to occur. To a person, to a family. To further that goal, Mr. Kiefer founded the Kiefer Foundation, a nonprofit organization with a mission to end distracted driving and all associated traffic deaths and injuries. Then later, Mr. Kiefer decided to retire from Ford in 2022 to put all his efforts into his foundation, the Kiefer Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce our guest speaker for the 2023 Stevenson High School Commencement Ceremony, Mr. Stephen Kiefer.
Thank you, Drew, for that great introduction. And, well, first of all, congratulations, Stevenson High, class of 23. You made it. But by that, I mean you made it down Beck Road to get into this parking lot, which was truly a mess. So I'm glad everybody got here on time. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, this remarkable class of 2023. I gotta say, it is such an honor to be here with you. Not only as a proud graduate of Stevenson High School, 81 graduate of Stevenson High School, but as Drew mentioned, here in a facility and right next to an ice rink that bears my son Mitchell's name. And you can see our Kiefer Foundation sign up here on the wall as well. I'll tell you a little bit more about Mitchell later in my comments. It's hard to believe that it was 42 years ago that I was sitting in seats just like yours, actually on the football stadium, full of excitement and anticipation to get this ceremony over so we could go celebrate at 6 in Newburgh, which was just a big empty field at the time, with all of our friends. And I know that I'm one of the things between you and your celebration tonight, so I'll try to be brief, but not too brief. As I prepared remarks for tonight, I got to tell you, I Googled all the best commencement address in history. Some were good, some were bad. I tried to look for some really inspiring quotes. I ran ChatGPT about 5 times, and none of it seemed right. So I thought that I would just try to share some of the things I've learned in the last 42 years, and hopefully it'll be, and I'm going to finish with a bit of a challenge for you, so please stay tuned. One thing that Drew did not mention, he mentioned I went to Michigan State and Michigan. I'm a proud alum of both. I did go to Michigan State, and I played football at Michigan State. Full disclosure, I played intramural football, and I played for 6 East Wilson dorm, and we weren't very good. We were a very mediocre football team. But I did play a little football at Michigan State, and that's what I always tell people. And after 42 years, people don't really know the difference between intramural and varsity. So, but I tell you this because I think it gives me enough street cred to use a football analogy for today's comments. So bear with me as I try to draw an analogy between football and life for all of you. So let me start with this. The average lifespan of humans on this earth these days is about 72 years. A little bit longer for women, maybe a little less for men, a little longer for Americans, actually, a little less in other countries, so some of you have some advantages here. But in general, just for discussion's sake, let's call it an average of 72 years. So if your life were a football game, 72 years, and most of you are about 18 years old, you've just finished your first quarter. You've just finished the first quarter of your football game, and you're off to a pretty good start, I think. Right now, you've put some points on the board, and actually, you've probably just are now having the greatest accomplishment of your life, which is your high school graduation. So let's again have a little round of applause for the high school graduation. But I'm going to try to reflect on 4 quarters for you and really try to draw some inspiration and try to give you just some thoughts on what you may have to look forward to over these next 3 quarters that you're going to face having finished your first quarter. By the way, I should just pause for just a second, and can we just take a minute and thank your parents for getting you through this first quarter? I mean, it hasn't been easy, right? You know, all they want tonight is a couple of pictures, tell them that you love them, and then you can go out and do what you want to do. So please do that for them tonight. And by the way, I mean, you're starting with the world ahead of you, nothing but positive things ahead of you. You're all at about the same starting point. And if you've got some doubt or insecurities, throw them away because everything for you is positive from this day forward. Now, as a bit of a reintroduction, I want to reflect a little bit on my first quarter and draw some of the parallels to maybe yours. I was born at Highland Park General here in the Detroit area. I was the sixth child of a Armenian immigrant and a Detroit lady from Mercy High School. By the way, all my older 5 brothers and sisters are proud graduates of Stevenson High School as well. We grew up my first 5 years in a little 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom house in Westland, Michigan. I remember sharing a bedroom with my 3 brothers, and my 2 sisters had a bedroom, and life was good. We moved to the big house on Fitzgerald just in time for me to start my first year of first grade at Clay Elementary School. And I got to tell you, when we moved into the big house on Fitzgerald, we had more than anybody I know. And life was good. I got to tell you, those years growing up in Livonia were some of the best years of my life, and I hope they were some of the best years of your life. But I leave you with my first sort of life lesson, and it's all about gratitude. I think we all just need to be thankful for what you have. There's always going to be people that are going to have more than you, but be thankful for what you have. Take some time to really appreciate life. You know, life moves at a dizzying pace, and you need to be present in the moment. Take a little while, enjoy life, smell the roses, occasionally put your phones down, engage in real discussions, and really practice gratitude, because you have so much to be thankful for. I was a decent student. I actually was a car guy from the start. I was in auto shop. I worked on cars. I actually bussed tables at Big Boy Restaurant on 6 Mile. I bagged groceries at Great Scott, always trying to save money for college. I was accepted to Michigan and Michigan State in my senior year. I visited both campuses, fell in love with Michigan State, and never looked back. I was proud to go to Michigan State. And at the time, this was the biggest decision that I made in my life, the decision to go to college and to go to Michigan State and not Michigan for undergrad. Probably decisions very similar to what all of you have made. And I think what I just wanted to share with you on that, and this is a bit of a life thing, is what I think you'll find in life is you're going to have angst and insecurities about a lot of decisions you're going to make. What I've always found is the biggest determinant of a quality decision is what you do afterwards, not what you do before. So all those things you were worried about on deciding what you're going to do after high school, really now it's what you make of it. That's what's really going to determine how successful you are. So it's a second life lesson. Take decisive action. Make these decisions and commit to them 100%. A wise man said, make decisive actions, take decisive action. Be 100% committed, unwavering commitment. You may change your course later, but don't be in doubt when you make these decisions. That'll serve you well through life. Now, as you move into the second quarter, this is probably the most important quarter of your life, certainly the most defining quarter of your life. In this next quarter, many of you will go to college, you'll start your careers, you'll find your life partners, you'll probably have children, hopefully you'll find your life passion and purpose. I encourage all of you to explore as many paths as possible. Be intellectually curious, be agile, be adaptable, and be accountable for all of your actions and your life plan, and try to be kind to one another. During this quarter, don't be afraid to fail. Just be certain to learn from your failures and your mistakes. So that leads me to the third life lesson, which is all about failures. Embrace failures and embrace them as a stepping stone to success. You know, life's going to present you with all kinds of setbacks and disappointments. You need to learn from them, embrace them, and move on. For me, my second quarter was filled with some extreme highs and some challenges. My parents went through a very messy divorce when I was in high school, and after splitting everything, there was no money for college. I can tell you that when I was a freshman at Michigan State, freshman and sophomore at Michigan State, those were some tough years. I remember one day on the Red Cedar almost throwing my backpack in the river and dropping out of school. Classes were tough. I didn't know how I was going to pay tuition, and I almost gave up. Thankfully, I had some good friends and family that talked me down, got me through it, and with the help of some student loans and actually a great co-op job with General Motors, I was able to pay my way through Michigan State and get through. So I would just say to all of you, you're going to face similar challenges. These next couple of years are going to be very difficult. You know, when I was when we were in high school and in the 80s, we didn't really talk about mental health issues. We didn't talk about depression. I'm sure we all had it. But you have so many resources. You have so many things that can help you through this. Don't try to do it alone. If you're insecure, if you're uncertain, reach out and get help. That will serve you well. Now let me talk about the third quarter. It probably seems like an eternity, but in just 18 years, all of you will be about 36 years old, and you'll be starting your third quarter. And frankly, the second half is where the game is won or lost. In the third quarter, you'll have some of the most productive years of your life. As I look around here, there's future doctors, lawyers, engineers, actors, nonprofit leaders, factory workers, and a number of other professions, and hopefully some mothers and fathers. You've got a lot ahead of you, and whatever path you choose, I am certain that the world will never be the same because of the impact that you're going to have on the world, so embrace that. And if you look at some of the state of the world today and some of the problems that we have that need to be addressed, we need you to step up. It's going to be on your generation to help change the world. So my fourth life lesson is really about big goals and perseverance. Really try to discover what sets your soul on fire and chase it relentlessly. I'd ask all of you just to dream big, set aggressive goals, and never give up. I can't tell you how many times in life and in work I set lofty, sometimes even unreasonable goals and was just amazed when we were able to achieve and maybe even exceed them. So you never really know how high you can jump until you set the bar high. So now let's talk about your fourth quarter. Finally, you'll enter the fourth quarter, and this is really the culmination of your life's game. This quarter is an opportunity to reflect on your journey and assess the legacy that you want to leave behind. It's a time to give back and to use your talents and resources to make the world a better place. Each one of you has the power to create change. And I really want to share a little bit more about some of the work that I've been doing in my fourth quarter. Before I tell you about the work of the Kiefer Foundation, I need to qualify some of my previous comments. Probably sounds like these life plans can be very prescriptive, and you do this and something great will happen. Well, you all know that life is not that way. There are no guaranteed positive outcomes, and obviously there's going to be a lot of changes as you go through your life. Plenty of curves, potholes, detours, and that's why I think agility and perseverance are so important. So I'm reminded of one of my favorite quotes from a very famous and maybe not so scholarly gentleman, heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson. Iron Mike once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth." So let me just tell you that every one of you will get the proverbial punch in the mouth. It's going to happen, I'm sorry to tell you, and your life plans will change on a dime, possibly. How you respond to this punch in the mouth will define you. So my worst punch in the mouth happened 7 years ago. It was September 19th, 2016. My son Mitchell was killed by a distracted driver. We started the Kiefer Foundation in Mitchell's honor to bring an end to distracted driving, as you heard from Drew. You know, Mitchell was 18 at the time of his death. He had just graduated from Detroit Catholic Central, where he was a goalie on the state championship hockey team that played their last game on this very sheet of ice. I always carry Mitchell's picture here, and there's a picture of him in his goalie uniform right on those stairs when they won that championship game. So it's a really, really special place for me. We've been working hard. You know, Mitchell always wanted to change the world, and we're so proud of the work that we've been able to do at the Kiefer Foundation to change the world in Mitchell's honor. I hope you've seen some of the work that we're doing, but let me just tell you one of the most significant things that's about to happen, and this is our work to make Michigan the 26th hands-free state in the nation. What does that mean? Next week on Wednesday, our Governor Whitmer, is going to sign 3 bills that will make it illegal for you to hold a mobile device while you're driving a car in the state of Michigan. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. We've been at this for 4 years. We launched this on Mitchell's 21st birthday 4 years ago, and it has been a battle. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever done is to get this legislation passed, and I just can't wait to see that signed into law by our governor, and it will be effective June 30th. So this year, 4th of July weekend, there will be fewer crashes, fewer deaths in the state of Michigan, and there will be people that will be alive after the 4th of July because of the work that we've been doing, and I just couldn't be more excited about that. So thank you for your support. So obviously, you see now that's become my life purpose, but I want to make this just a little more personal for all of you, because I want to tell you that the primary reason that I am here today is for my life's purpose, which is to save your lives. I don't want to sound morbid, but statistically, if we did not pass these laws, and if all of you didn't change behavior, and if people in the state of Michigan didn't change behavior, there's a very good chance that 3 or 4 of you will not be at your 5-year reunion. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. So I'm so pleased that we've got these laws in place, and at the end of my comments here, I'm going to ask you to help me take a pledge to make sure that all of you are alive for your 5-year reunion. So before I ask for your commitment, just a few more quick football analogies. If you were to look at the scoreboard of my life's game at the end of the third quarter, it would have been a complete blowout. It would have been like the MSU Akron game last year, if you guys saw it. It was 52-0. You know, it was a complete blowout. It was fantastic. And then one bad play. One bad play. A senseless play, a cheap hit, actually, by a young lady on her cell phone, and our lives were changed forever. That's when Mitchell was taken away from us. So I leave you with this image. We all have an image in the football field when someone's got a serious neck injury and they're carted off and they struggle and they put a thumb up to try to inspire the team. So I'm inspired by Mitchell every day in the same way in our football game. And again, I tell you, we'll not give up. We'll finish this game strong, and we will make not only the state and the country, but the whole world much safer in Mitchell's honor. So with that, I implore all of you to find your own purpose. I know it's not always easy, but try to find something that will light a fire within you, something that you can do to make a difference as you go forward. I wish I could tell you how or when you're going to discover your purpose. I can't. I could have never imagined when mine would have come about. But please just keep looking for it, and you'll know it when you'll see it, and you'll know what you have to do. So, class of 23, you are more than prepared for this game of life. The education you received here has equipped you with the necessary tools to face the adversities that lie ahead, and try to remember the analogy, if you like it, of these 4 quarters, and understand that every moment counts. Live your life to the fullest, cherish the victories, learn from the mistakes, and always keep pushing forward. Don't forget, try to have fun every step of the way. I'm reminded of a quote from the great statesman and the namesake of our school, Adlai Stevenson. It is not the years in your life, but the life in your years that count. So let me leave you with this final challenge. And again, be reminded that this is a challenge for my purpose and for your purpose. So please, first of all, commit to seeking your purpose, following your dreams, and trying to leave the world a little better than you found it. Now, how you're going to help me with my purpose? Please, please, please live to play the entire game. Don't do something stupid. So I'm going to ask all of you to make a commitment to me here and help make the world safer by changing your own driving behavior. If you will commit to not drinking and driving, not doping and driving, not driving distracted, if you're willing to show your support for that, please stand up for a moment. And as we say, when you're driving in a car, put your phones down and just drive. I should have given all of you these hand fans. Thank you all, and congratulations, and best of luck in the rest of your life. Thank you all.
You're about to stand, so graduates, please stand. President Johnson, will you please join me at the podium? President Johnson, as the principal of Stevenson High School, it is my distinct privilege to present to you the Stevenson class of 2023. I hereby certify that the graduates before you have satisfied the requirements set forth by the Livonia Public School Board of Education and are therefore eligible to receive their diplomas. I ask that you accept them on behalf of the school board.
Mr. Mazzoni, on behalf of the school board, I accept the graduating class of Stevenson High School for 2023. Graduates, would you please sit down? When Mr. Mazzoni asked me to say a few words tonight, it was difficult for me to do that because I'm a trial lawyer. and trial lawyers don't just say a few words, but I'll do my best. And I swear Mr. Kiefer and I did not collaborate on what I'm going to say, but it's all about dreams and success. I was thinking about that when I was thinking about what I was going to say. And a wise man once said, "Some men see things as they are and say, 'Why?' I dream of things that never were and say, 'Why not?'" On success, he said, some men need to dare greatly to fail in order to achieve greatly. So I leave you with those two thoughts. Dream big and dare to fail, because you will. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Will the first row of graduates please rise?
Shuffle.
Drew Robert Buati. Michelle Alexandra Wiesenberg.
Nora Marie Abojamra. Christina Sally Abraham.
Chloe Jacqueline Berry. Marissa Anna Marie Gruss.
Skylar Jalen Ackerman. Madeline Ann Adams.
Justin David Mitchell. Aveline Elizabeth O'Hagan.
Isabella Ellen Alcantara. Ella Grace Alford.
Michaela Marie Bornay. Ava Kathleen Brotherton.
Alexandria Marie Avers. Abigail Faith Azarovitz.
Emily Grace Daniel. Hannah Joy Dittmeyer.
Emma Catherine Bannister. Ava Grace Barber.
Abigail Melinda Elliott. Isabel Maya Greenway.
Lily Kate Barber. Jenna Ruth Barber.
Brooke Anna Hammond. Natalie Rose Patera.
Julia Noel Barda. Talia Lachey Barton.
Mackenzie Kayla Vardnoff. Ashlyn Bernice Wieland.
Trinity Micah Beavers. Jessica Begu.
Nolan Anthony Early. Shane Alexander Manuel Gebner.
Sydney Taylor Bell. Carly Sue Bennett.
Gavin Robert Kevin Hanks. Jay Lemmy Lamontagne.
Nathan Kenan Akahoshi. Adam Nasir Alloway.
David Michael Leiselhub. Victor Manuel Macias.
Kyle Landon Alcala. Hussein Mohammed Al-Jeli.
Jalen Samuel Malagon. Johan Malai.
Nathan James Alexander. David Edward Alcavicius.
Elijah Martin. Maxwell Logan Martin.
Everett Will Allen. Luke Amada Alvarado.
Riley Gray Martin. Luke Jeffrey Martoya.
Carlos Arthur Alvarez. Hunter Joseph Anderson.
Andrew Thomas Matakaitis. James Joseph McAfee.
Noah Hampton Argobast. Cooper Royce Aubrey.
Dylan Patrick McCallion. Alexander David Messing.
Nathan Kenneth Bach. Ishan Singh Baring.
Ryan Mitchell Michaels. Noah Christian Moore.
Logan Michael Barnes. Jet Alexander Bigger.
John Stephen Morris. Ayla Jane Marcoux.
David William Bilson. Pauline Sarah Marie Best.
Kayla Nicole Marshall. Kirsten Angela Martinez.
Josephine Marie Bigelow. Alyssa Catherine Black.
Tracy Matar. Lily Elizabeth Matthews.
Kaylee Renee Bolton. Alexis Nicole Bomarito.
Casey Renee Maxwell. Fatu Mbao.
Grace May Breeze. Kalis Aaron Brooke.
Grace Victoria McBrien. Nyla K. Meekins.
Emma Grace Buati. Samira Maximina Cabell.
Isabella Ann Melvin. Brooke Lynn Merchant.
Kelsey Starr Capling. Elena May Apalto Catala.
Emily Isabel Messerol. Noelle Julia Mahalski.
Elena Marie Selmer. Ava Claire Shampoo.
Emily Elizabeth Mikowitz. Sakira Agami Milanowski.
Caitlin Quinn Cherry. Lauren Mary Koffel.
Samantha Ann Morris. Andrea Rochelle Morton.
Carly Ann Coleman. Ava Irene Collier.
Audrey Taylor Mui. Carter Allen Mraz.
Tyler Caleb Borgula. Alexander Gerald Bowser.
Alex Farah Musharbush. Mac Gabriel Musinski.
Jack Ryan Bowser. Trevor Daniel Bro.
Kelsey Quam Myers. Jawad Ryan Nasser.
Griffin Malloy Browning. Caden Mark Brundage.
Andrew Nicholas Nazel. Griffin Maurice New.
Connor Edward Buati. Stephen Ray Burton.
Derek Lee Norman. Kenneth Nino Villagador Aralde.
Cale Lowell Campbell. Tristan Roy Kapling.
Arik Orlean. Timothy James Oyer.
Ryan John Chakunkel. Joshua Jeffrey Klebeck.
Shane Victor Patterson. Joseph Richard Pollock.
Drew Christopher Church. Dominic James Chimataro.
Owen Michael Penny. Griffin James Furman.
Ty James Cuffatelli. Gerald Clark.
Ruben Sam Phillip. Brennan Christopher Pinta.
Phoenix Joseph Close. Richard Eugene Comer.
Jacob Charles Pletcher. Charlie Quinn Murphy.
Audrey Claire Cook. Olivia Rose Cook.
Regan Marie Murray. Sarah Diane James Nasser.
Alexandria Starula Kuhn. Alyssa Maya Crane.
Lorena Alejandra Nava Marone. Carly Nicole Nelson.
Mira Mahud Darasi. Zoe Catherine Dagenfelder.
Olivia Grace Nelson. Lillian Grace Wynn.
Elena Blair Donardis. Mia Catherine Dietrich.
Olivia Nicholson. Catherine Murphy Nowak.
Morgan Elizabeth Dillon. Kinsey Lorraine Dodds.
Danielle Anne-Marie Obradovich. Anna Elizabeth Anoyan.
Ava Lynn Downey. Madison Linda Doyle.
Audrey Hannah Bogowski. Ava Ireland Perone.
Alexandra Kathleen Dressing. Ariana Marie Renee Dunbar.
Tess Marie Phillips. Addison Julia Pergentilli.
Kira Reese Eaton. Emma May Favor.
Gabriella Rosemary Pergentilli. Marie Rose Pominville.
Tiffany Marie Finzel. Claudia Frigerio.
John Plumai. Joey Andrew Jack Policichio.
Xavier Kelvin Conley. Ethan Anthony Cousineau.
Ted James Pominville. Andreas Yanni Costas Price.
Bradley Shane Kremen. Gavin Philip Crosby.
Evan Anthony Radecki. Jeffrey William Rand.
Connor Stephen Crow. Nathaniel Lewis Curtis.
Walter Scott Randall. Austin Matthew Roush.
Charles Thomas David Eck. Joseph Gregory Dean.
Owen Patrick Reed. Joshua Daniel Rich.
Brian Ellis Devizin. Marcus Christian Daschnitz.
Mason William Ryder. John Donald Renus.
Austin Michael Doty Ball. Noraldine Ahmed Ilrai.
Giovanni Paolo Olivia Rivera. Jesse Salim Rizkala.
Mohammed El Sablani. Thomas Jacob Emmerich.
Matthew James Robinson. Isaac Eric Royston.
Luis Geraldo Estrada. Wallace Ellsworth Fountain.
James Emmett Rubner. Trinity Alexis Prevost.
Nicholas Scott G. Isaac Roman Gelhausen.
Hadley Aaron Radawan. Ava Marie Razuk.
Isabel Chanel Fritz. Gretchen Carolyn Folk.
Alyssa Marie Reg. Savannah Marie Renier.
Cheyenne Rain Gadsby. Kaylee Elizabeth Gale.
Gabriella Ray Lace. Riley Paige Reyna.
Elena Ray Garcia. Cecilia Ann Gibson.
Rachel Renee Ritzler. Reagan Annie Rogers.
Kiki Ruthann Gillis. Brianna Concetta Graves Williams.
Cora Rose Rolfus. Luth Romero Gordillo.
Anna Lynn Grunkenmeyer. Evelyn Margaret Gribus.
Sarah Elizabeth Sabado. Marissa Sanchez.
Alana Lene Guerrero. Natalie Ann Guerrero.
Marley Jean Savella. Julia Ann Scapitici.
Marion Hassan. Julia Grace Haynes.
Jacqueline Antoinette Serrazio. Lodina Shala.
Patricia Charlotte Hine. Holly Marie Hibbard.
Liam Warren Ryan. Zain Ali Saad.
Ava Jane Horvath. Kendall Morgan Hotchkiss.
Easton Adam Shar. Aiden Chase Sinsesson.
Dylan Matthew George. Nicholas David Junta.
Sambhav Manish Kumar Shah. Nolan Thomas Sitch.
Lucas Adam Glad. Nelson Lee Gordon.
Nicholas William Sika Rowe. Andrew Joseph Sosnowski.
Drake Isaac Graham. Braden Scott Griswold.
Chase Robinson Southwick. Philip Edward Staffy.
Brendan Paul Grunwald. Zain Hussein Haig Hassan.
Adam David Stark. Leonardo Atahualpa Suarez.
Alexander James Hall. Hayden John Hamill.
Zachary Christopher Sueda. James Samuel Tamer.
Austin Jacob Hammerly. Ryan Patrick Hasty.
Henry Lewis Taylor. Evelyn Grace Shemansky.
Sebastian Hayward. Benjamin Bruce Headley.
Alexandra Jordan Sawicki. Ava Lee Sawicki.
Ty Jarrett Heath. Brock Daniel Henriksen.
Christina Michael Sigler. Mackenzie Ann Soroki.
Patrick Dawson Henry. Harry Stewart Hill.
Isabella Josephine Smolarek. Catherine Lavana Snowden.
Alyssa Hubahib. Eliana Idiot Islami.
Allison Marie Sopko. Lindsay Grace Springer.
Maya Jafar. Angelina Ida Jenks.
Isabella Jane Staley. Rebecca Ann Steele.
Anna Christine Corey. Evelyn Nicole Corey.
Abigail Francis Stevens. Sydney Kathleen Stoller.
Mackenzie Ray Kindler. Natalie Lucia Kitchen.
Catherine Elizabeth Sullivan. Adriana Destiny Tansel.
Laura Renee Coble. Ava Noel Kopak.
Adriana Desiree Tansel. Kalina Alicia Turvo.
Ava Olivia Cordy. Riley Marie Kozloff.
Destiny Maureen Thomas. Matthew William Thomas.
April Trisha Cruz. Adriana Christina Lasaria.
Caden Douglas Tillman. Antonio Gerardo Tullio.
Gabriela Sophia Lamacchia. Renee Elizabeth Lamana.
Dennis Walter Jeffrey Vanderplow. Liam Nicholas Van Hollerbeck.
Grace Catherine Lepaski. Madeline Renee Levitt.
Giovanni Manuel Vega. Shane Spetim Velu.
Christopher David Holmes. Tyler Douglas Horton.
Aiden Michael Viola. John Spencer Wagner.
Ryland Christian Hughes. Joseph Cole Jackson.
Charles Robert Ward. Jacob Thomas Ward.
Dominic William Gentzer. Alexander Cesar Jimenez Vega.
Matthew William Warner. Brian J. Watkins II.
Ethan Allen John. John Benjamin Johnson.
Bailey Samuel Way. Dylan Bryant Welch.
Ian Mackay Kalinowski. Adam George Kaminsky.
Colin James Whitney. Noah Joseph Woodward.
Matthew Christopher King. Mitchell Timothy Kern.
Lucas Philip Earl Young. Julia Anna Kluchek.
Ezra James Knizik. Tanner John Kozar.
Danielle Vasconcelos Totsky. Jessica Nicole Tyler.
Ethan Thomas James Ladusser. Brennan Mitchell Laws.
Gabrielle Grace Vaquera. Brianna Lynn Warnakis.
Alexander Vincent Lind. Connor Michael Lynn.
Scarlett Marie Webster. Claire Avian Williams.
Danielle Mary Lebsack. Emma Rose Lee.
Isabella Inez Williams. Arabella Mary Wojcik.
Maggie May Lesko. Caitlin Nicole Lindsay.
Sarah Joelle Wolkowitz. Emma Grace Wozniak.
Hannah Shunchao Lipsky. Tabitha Ann Lucas.
Valerie Inez Zamora. Ertien Zakai.
Malloy Christine Masick. Samantha Ann Mackey.
Vivian Grace Zeman.
Lily Josephine Malamis.
Take a seat. Take a seat. Before I offer my closing remarks, it's my pleasure to introduce Senate President and graduate Justin Mitchell, who will read The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost, a time-honored tradition.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Graduates, don't forget, you can see your counselors before you go, because right now you just have diploma covers. To the audience members, the stage will be open after we're done if you feel free to take pictures. In closing, it's my sincere hope that each and every one of you can say that your time at Stevenson was memorable. I know we are not perfect. We have our challenges and areas of growth. But I would like to believe our successes far outweigh any shortcomings. Please know that you're always welcome back. Challenge you to go out and explore the world. Come back and share your knowledge and wisdom with us so we can pass it on to future classes. Graduates, you are now moving in a new and exciting chapter in your life. On behalf of everyone at Stevenson High School and Livonia Public Schools, we wish you the best for the future that lies ahead. Congratulations, you've earned the right to call yourself a graduate of Stevenson High School. So as we say farewell, we are now all Spartans for life. Thank you and have a good night.